What's good, YouTube? In one of my videos the other day, someone left a comment. I think it was talking about 1v1ing demon hunters and how they're having trouble. I'm pretty sure they play feral as well. So while I was filming yesterday's how to kill a Windwalker monk, or Windwalker monks, I think I called it Windwalker monks, are so hard to beat. Make sure you check that video out if you haven't. I was just dueling for ages. I made sure that if I saw a demon hunter, I was going to duel it, and I did in fact see one, recorded that, and I'm like, okay, so I can make that video and help this guy out. And you don't have to play feral in order for this video to help you. I think it'll just be kind of talking about demon hunters and what they're going to do. Now, I've never actually played a demon hunter, and you can correct me on some things if I'm wrong. Maybe you play one and you're like, no, that they kind of want to do this, not how you said it. But pretty much, I see demon hunters as a build-up and dump class. So much like a warrior, they're going to have their, we'll call it a rage bar, I believe, right? So they're going to fill it up, and then they're going to go into their metamorphosis form, which is their burst. And much like a druid, a paladin almost has 30-second wings as well. These classes have the biggest bursts in the game. You know, Boomies, the feral, metamorphosis and demon hunter, and others that come to mind right now is like the paladin, like I said. They have that burst period that goes for 30 seconds, and that's where the scary bit is. That's where all the damage is going to come from, and that's what you need to stop. As long as you stop that, a class like a demon hunter is going to be in some trouble, especially because they're melee as well. You can control them pretty well, and I feel like feral has a really nice toolkit when it talks about, well, when it comes down to trying to control them. So I've got the clips here. I'm going to start it back and we'll watch them together. So skip to the bit here. I'm casting Regrowth and Interstealth for the first duel. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is Tiger's Fury early. Going to get all my bleeds up onto him, as I've used Tiger's Fury for the extra buff. Put a rip onto him. Now I'm holding onto my proc, because in case he wants to pop a metamorphosis or something. See, I used it onto a root, and he can't do anything to it. He's not going to waste his trinket, and it's just giving me like hots back up. Now I've gone Force Stealth from Incarnation, just playing on the whole time, and then is his metamorphosis. So I'm going to pause it right there as I'm stunned with 1.1 seconds left. They only have their metamorphosis. Like I said, that's the scariest bit. Okay, so what you want to try and do is best case scenario, you use a survival instinct, or you pre-bear form their stun, which is when they leap into metamorphosis. It stuns instant. So if you could somehow time it perfect, 9 out of 10 times it's probably not going to happen. It'd kind of be by chance, because they can use the ability whenever. But at the start of the fight, they're going to try and build up that rage, right? So a decent demon hunter, I believe, is going to hit you a few times, get that rage bar full, and then go into metamorphosis, where they can just dump it all and do a heap of upfront pressure in that stun period. So what you want to do is, best case scenario, but 9 out of 10 times is not going to happen, pre-bear form the stun, if you can guess when they're going to do it. Trinket immediately, because it's the only real CC they have is that 4 or 5 second stun. And use a survival instinct, 50% damage reduction. Now, because it goes for their burst is 30 seconds, it's quite a long window. I think our survival instincts, if you've got it upgraded in the artifact weapon, is going to last for 7. So you could chain them both together, and you have a 14-second window here where they're doing half damage, and that is half their burst. But you don't always want to just change survival instincts together, because they might not be on you. You just want to use it when they're in metamorphosis and connecting to you. That's when they're going to do the scary damage, okay? So what I do here is, in 3, 2, 1, we'll hit play, is I use my survival instinct, use my trinket, and I think I went to bear form, I'm not sure, but the duel was over, went pretty quick. And what's he say there? We'll pause it. Geez, you're a feral or something. So I don't know why he didn't know that. But anyway, he's not happy with that loss. Okay, so we will go to the second duel and start it right now. And this is actually from the day where I was making the monk video. So I specifically seen this demon hunter. I'm like, okay, man, can I duel you? Again, cast Regrowth, went into stealth. Thought I had wild charges, so wasted displacer, but it's still not going to matter. Holding my proc there. I'm going to force up a heap of damage now to make him go into metamorphosis early. And it's just over, man. You use your survival instinct, and they just can't do the damage. They don't have the CC. You can get away from them. As you can see, he had some gear as well, so it's not like it's an undergeared fight or anything. And yeah, so I feel like the video is just ending right now. I feel like Demon Hunters is a pretty simple class in their mechanics to handle, and the toolkit that we have as Ferals, but anyone else that plays Feral, just really doesn't do them any favors. I feel like we have the disadvantage. We have the advantage. Sure, we wear leather and we can take some damage, especially if they were to land that stun on us and somehow you've wasted your trinket. But, I mean, we have a lot of getaways. Using your procs into roots rather than putting it into a healing touch with the extra blood talons damage is probably a smart thing to do. Just kite them, play around with them, make them mad because they literally have no gap closes, no slow, and it's just quite a nightmare for them. The other thing I just want to mention too is, before it just escapes me, is their Eye Beam. Their Eye Beam is their only magical ranged ability. It does do some damage if they catch you in the full duration, but your Skull Bash can interrupt that, and it's the only thing you have to interrupt, so feel free to use Skull Bash. Unlike if you were versing a mage or something, you want to shut down them and frost their frost, spec or something when they're casting frost bolts or glacials. You want to stop that and really use your Skull Bash properly to its maximum kind of potential. When it comes to Demon Hunters though, they're a melee class, so you can use the Skull Bash as a gap close if you want. Or if they're going to cast an Eye Beam in Metamorphosis, I think it puts them into it anyway for a short period of time, just kick it instantly. So you feel free to do that. I hope this video helps you guys out. If you had any problems with Demon Hunters, they shouldn't be too much of an issue now, as long as you use your, especially survival instincts efficiently. Really, it's our only defensive we have, so don't waste those 50% damage reductions just out of nowhere. Use your bear form too to stop a lot of the damage. Just remember, you can mess with them unbelievably. We just have so much control. So that's going to wrap this video up, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this video with anyone else that seems to have problems with Demon Hunters. They don't even have to play a Feral. Just any class. If you kind of understand what they're going to do, which is what I tried to explain in this video, you should be able to counter them pretty effectively. And hopefully it makes the duels go pretty smooth for you. So I've actually been talking for 8 minutes, and I've only got a minute 40 worth of footage. I don't know how that happened. But I also have another clip that I've called How to Root. And I'm actually going to make that video straight after this one to just properly talk about how to root a class. And instead of, because it's pretty normal for a Feral Druid, right, with the Blood Talons, how the meta is now, to when you get that proc for when you dump your 5 combo points, right, you hit your rip, you get the proc, right? You can use it into Root, an instant cast one. You can use in cat form, or you use it into your Blood Talons, and it's going to buff your next 2 melee abilities. Now, 3v3 setup, and most of the time, and whatever, you're going to want to use the regrowth proc, right, to get that extra 50% damage buff on your next 2 melee abilities, which hopefully will be a rake and a rip, as we've talked about before in other videos, like how to Blood Talons properly. One of my the 7.1 guide for Feral, whatever, I use it on, things like that. But when versing melee, especially, don't be scared, and it is actually better some of the time to use those instant procs into the roots, because it'd be much more beneficial for you to use that proc into stopping the damage that they're about to do, because some of these classes, like I had to do against Windwalker Monk, just do incredible damage. It would be more beneficial to use that into the root rather than into the healing touch proc, because it doesn't matter how much damage you're going to get out, you're going to die some of the time versing these melee guys. So be looking out for that video too. Is there anything else I need to say right now? Got my notes here. Voice over the monk duel, that's done. Voice over Demon Hunter, that's cool. And I've just got 3 notes here. We'll just go over it quickly before we wrap the video up. This is the 3 things you should remember. Their Metamorphosis is their big stun, where they're going to do all their damage. You're going to trinket that and survival, okay? Pretty straightforward. It's going to stop all the damage. You can even go into bear form just to double make sure you're going to be safe. And their burst goes for 30 seconds. So as long as you stop that 30-second burst window as best as you can, you're set. So even if you have to force stealth by using Incarnation to go into stealth and get away, rather than You know, use it for damage and getting an extra stun up like a lot of people do. Whether you use Displacer Beast to charge away. You can just control them. Try it out. Hopefully this helps. I've been rambling for ages, so I'm going to leave you with it. Peace!